Welcome to another installment in my complete chronological rewatch, where I'll be going back through almost every Star Wars film and show as I work my way to the Rise of Skywalker. Today we're going over the Clone Wars Season 3, Episode 1, Clone Cadets. Set in 22 BBY, the same year that the Clone Wars began, 5 headstrong clones struggle to complete their training on Kamino. These cadets, Hevy, Cutup, Droidbait, Fives, and Echo, seem to be a bad batch, and are unable to work as a team. As Shaak Ti and drill instructors Bric and El-Les debate their cadets' fate, the clones learn to work together and accept their destiny as soldiers. I like a lot of what this episode brings to the picture by fleshing out Kamino and the clones after we're first introduced to them in Attack of the Clones. We get to see the final stage of the training process for the clones, and how the death of Jango Fett on Geonosis affected the cloning process. They mentioned how they have been forced to stretch out what little DNA they have left, and they're also looking for a new donor, which is a connection to the Bad Batch that I never noticed before. Even though Omega probably exists on Kamino at this time, she wasn't created until that series, and the first season dealt a bit with the fact that she was an exact genetic duplicate of Jango Fett. There are some plot holes caused by that entire ordeal, but it doesn't have any relation to the episode, so I don't want to go too far into depth on that. We also learn in this episode that bounty hunters were hired to help with the training of the clones, and I assume that had he not died, Jango would have been the one training them, which makes me wonder if they would have turned out any differently. The two bounty hunters they do have, El-Les and Bric, give off a very good cop bad cop vibe to me. Bric initially comes off as very hard-nosed and just plain old mean, but to me he feels more realistic than El-Les, who seems way too soft and compassionate to be a bounty hunter. Shaak Ti also has some very Jedi lines despite not being in this all that much. The clones themselves are introduced to us for the first time, and while they go on to be some great characters, I'm not huge on them in this episode. That, and the fact that there are just no Jedi, are part of the reason this episode is on the lower half for me. I was a bit surprised that this was from the third season, because while the animation does look a lot better than some of the earlier ones, it definitely felt like it was aimed for a much younger audience than some of the other episodes in the season. However, the episode has some pretty good music, at least once in a while, and the interactions between Hevy and 99 are probably some of the best scenes in the episode. 99 is such a great character who, despite being picked on constantly, still has a positive outlook and supports his brothers. Let me know what you think of this episode in the comments below, and where it ranks among your favorite episodes. Remember to like the video, and subscribe to stay up to date with my chronological rewatch. As always, thank you all for watching, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.